What side do you want? I would like this one if that's okay.
You got it, man. I'm gonna turn you up.
I am on. What time is this supposed to start?
This is what's up there, so.
Okay, it's 9:01. Last minute preparations, and now we're going to get ready for the lava.
Looks like we're just about ready to go here. That was the quietest gear check I've ever seen. It was like a ninja gear check or something like that going on. Track 1, ready to rock and roll. It's Lava City in yellow against Bellingham in black.
Lava City Roller Dogs, do they have a team name? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's the first whistle of Blunt Force Trauma versus Smoke and Ashes. Smoke and Ashes, the Lava City All-Star team in the yellow. Bellingham's Blunt Force Trauma in the black. Ziggy's Star Crush jamming for Bellingham. She gets lead jammer right off the bat. Double Deluxe number 32 for Lava City. Getting screened off by Lunatic. And yeah, first, hey, it's the AM. Here we go, Double Deluxe knocked out of bounds, has to recycle behind Lunatic. Ziggy's Star Crush on her first scoring pass, surrounded by a 3-wall, but shakes 2 of them off, but gets caught by Volatile. Going into turn 3, calls off the jam for 3 points, Bellingham.
These girls out here might make it look easy, but I tell you what, it all comes down to the gear sometimes. All the protective gear, all the skates. You want to go over to Fast Girl Skates right now and get yourself some. Take a look at their selection if you happen to be here, or online at fastgirlskates.com.
Anya Az lining up for Lava City against Anna Nasty for Bellingham. Disable her in the penalty box for Lava City, so it's a 4-on-3 pack advantage for Bellingham. But Anya Az gets out first for lead jammer, followed closely by Anna Nasty of Bellingham. Both jammers out of the pack, completing their initial pass, moving into scoring position. Pack moving briskly out of turn 2, and Anya Az hits the pack on a scoring pass, tries to call off the jam, does it in time. 2 points for Lava City. Bellingham coming up just empty.
Amazing second effort though there. That looked like she was going to get it from up here. That was as close as it gets, Bulldog.
Rampage lining up for Bellingham. Tree Thugger number 22 for Lava City. Lava City in the yellow, Bellingham in the black. And Tree Thugger finds an opening straight up the center of the pack. Gets lead jammer for Lava City. Rampage gets around Screamin', Meanie, and Volatile to complete her initial pass. But Tree Thugger has a sizable lead. And now a wide open inside lane. Juice Nukem holding off Sugar Bomb, keeping that inside lane open. All 4 points for Lava City.
Bellingham hoping for a revolution right now, but where's the revolution going on right now? Flat Track Revolution, that's where it's going on. Check out their booth here at this venue or online at flattrackrevolution.com.
And we've got a rematch from the very first jam. Double Deluxe, number 32 for Lava City against number 14, Ziggy Star Crush for Bellingham. Double Deluxe looking for the outside lane, but it gets caught by Miata Smakia, knocked to the infield. Has to recycle all the way back around the turn, all the way back to the pivot line. There goes Ziggy Star Crush, getting around Cutthroat Cali, and gets lead jammer for Bellingham. Double Deluxe still having a lot of trouble with Miata Smakia, but those squeaks around. Just completing her initial pass, Ziggy Star Crush already on a scoring pass. Gets knocked out by Slayer, has to recycle. Moving up the inside lane, Slayer and Cutthroat Cali can't make contact with Ziggy Star Crush. She comes through. Is that 4 points or is that? Or?
Looks like we got a back block here on number 32, Double Deluxe. That's going to set a big power jam here for Bellingham. Exactly what they want to see. Is that is good for 4 more points on the board for Ziggy Star Crush.
Okay, that 4-point switches to 5 points on the second scoring pass. I don't get this. Ziggy Star Crush coming around again, still on the power jam. Double Deluxe still in the penalty box, but did get 2 points on her scoring pass before going to the penalty box. And we're waiting for the final score. There's a little consultation from the jam ref for Bellingham.
In either case, whatever it is, that was a big jam for Bellingham. This was exactly what they wanted to see here, about 5 minutes down in this first bout of day 2 on the Wild West Showdown. And they're off. Nasty. Some call her Miss Nasty, not me. There's no misses around here. Just Nasty, taking off from that jam line, looking for the front of the pack. Instead gets recycled to the back, though. Now trying to find an open hole on the inside line, and she does. That's your lead jammer for Bellingham.
Bellingham at full strength. Oh, that was Demoralizer coming across, knocking down on a Nasty. She recovers, but now Volatile picks her up. And Juice Nukem knocks her down. Anna Nasty struggling against the 3-wall at the front, and they are impenetrable. Anna Nasty now juking around to the outside, gets knocked down again by Juice Nukem and picked up by all that 3-wall again. And there goes Volatile. Shoulder checks Anna Nasty out of bounds. On her knees, slow getting up, but now has to recycle. Double Deluxe back in action, completing her initial pass. Anna Nasty finally completing her 1 scoring pass, a grand slam, and calls off the jam.
Little heads-up defense there by Dame Deviant, calling for the bridge. Saved the pack there on turn number 3.
Anya Az, number 1, jamming in the yellow for Lava City. And in the black, it's number 193, Rampage for Bellingham. Rampage moving up the outside. Actually got tangled up with one of her teammates, with Miata Smakia, forcing her slightly out of bounds. She had to recycle just a little bit, but now overcomes the 3-wall in turn 4. Does not get lead jammer. Got a no pass, no penalty, so the door wide open for Anya Az of Lava City. But she's got to get it around Robin, Rumble, and Sugar Bomb, and she does it. Gets lead jammer, immediately calls off. No score. Rampage not getting around in time.
That's about as close as it gets. Talking about being close, the booth over there, Green Monster, spelled GRNMNSTR.com. Missing a couple vowels, but nonetheless, they're not missing any quality in that merchandise, continuing to bring you the best available products for roller derby, roller skating, and always staying true to the sport.
Ziggy Star Crush jamming for Bellingham against Panty Dropper. First time jamming in this game. Panty Dropper gets taken out by Isahella Vicious. Tries to come back in, immediately stumbles. Ziggy Star Crush for Bellingham. Moving up the inside gets lead jammer. But there goes Panty Dropper getting around Miata Smakia. And hot on the heels of Ziggy Star Crush, trying to catch up to the Bellingham jammer. Pack casually moving into turn 1 as both jammers hit the pack together, but Ziggy Star Crush immediately knocked out of bounds. Panty Dropper picking up 4 for Lava City.
Wow, what an amazing second effort there. Not about to give up. Panty Dropper skating around, just burning up the flat track. Who here is rooting for Lava City in the house tonight? Where's my Bellingham folks? Yeah, there they are. little delay there between here and the stands, I think. No biggie.
Number 19, Anna Nasty jamming for Bellingham, and number 22, Tree Thugger jamming for Lava City. Tree Thugger knocked down by Lunatic. Has to recycle just a little bit, but Lunatic trying to recycle further back, but Demoralizer cut her off, allowing Tree Thugger to come back in very quickly and claims lead jammer in the process. Anna Nasty way at the back of the pack, and this time clobbered by Demoralizer. Living up to her name, I think. Tree Thugger on his first scoring pass, knocked down by a screening hip check from Scarlet Joe Hertzum. Tree Thugger getting through, gets a grand slam. All 5 points on that first scoring pass. Anna Nasty thought she saw daylight but got clipped. Has to recycle back. The Bellingham jammer coming back in behind Night Mary, who immediately picks her up and knocks her out of bounds again. Tree Thugger already with a grand slam, back in the pack on a second scoring pass, picked up by Miata Smakia, and Lunatic comes across with a shoulder check, knocking her to the infield. Tree Thugger giving up the ghost, calling off the jam, but Anna Nasty unable to complete her initial pass. So 10-0 for Lava City.
That was a crazy jam, but where can you find some crazy skates? Well, right here in this venue, actually. CrazySkateCo.com, or if you happen to be here, walk on over to that booth. The Crazy Skates Company is dedicated to providing innovative skating products and apparel with the very latest technology in manufacturing. That's Crazy Skates.
A 3-on-2 pack advantage for Bellingham. Bellingham in the black, Lava City in the yellow. Rampage finds a wide open outside lane and screams right through. Gets lead jammer right off the bat. Anya Az dodging around Lunatic and Miata Smakia to complete her initial pass. Very sparse pack, 2-on-2 right now. Juice Nukem unable to make contact with the hip check. Rampage coming through for 4 for Bellingham and calls off the jam. Anya Az for Lava City getting nothing.
Do you want more? Do you want more? Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Lining up on the jam line, it's Panty Dropper. She's going up against Ziggy Star Crush right now. We've seen this matchup before, I think, earlier on. And that's 5 seconds to go. And there's the whistle. Look at that jump off the line. Panty Dropper finds the inside line, is the lead jammer before turn 1 even begins, as she now skates away on the scoring pass. Ziggy Stardust, meanwhile, stymied at the back of the pack, but now getting through, but not legally. That was a back block. That's going to send her to the penalty box, while Panty Dropper now skates away with 5 big points on the board.
I was going to say, slowing it down just a little bit, okay. Then you'll sound more, you'll be able to enunciate better. Gotcha. Okay.
Panty Dropper hitting the back of the pack, trying to find that inside line again, but now in through the middle, and she skates away again. 5 big points on the board. Lava City now skating away with a 10-point jam right now.
Yeah, when it gets really exciting, you'll naturally speed up, but so you kind of want to kind of pace yourself, and then but no, you sound good.
Panty Dropper looking for that outside line, and she finds it again. Skating through untouched that time, folks. 5 more points on the board. That's a 20-point jam for those keeping track at home right now. Lava City with an amazing crush to the inside. That's going to leave the door wide open for Panty Dropper yet again. 5 more points. How many times can I say 5 more points during this jam? Panty Dropper back into the pack, making contact yet again. Lava City spreading things out this time, though, trying to stop her, and they did the trick that time, folks. That's a cutting the track call. That's going to end Panty Dropper's reign of terror on the flat track for this time. Not before 25 points on the board, though. Ziggy Star Crush back in action, sprung from prison for good behavior, and now skating in legal play on the flat track as the pack comes to a standstill awaiting the jammer. Trying to crush through that front wall of yellow. And she's...
And another thing to notice is that all 4 blockers from both teams are back on the track. We're almost back at full strength. Panty Dropper still in the penalty box for Lava City. Ziggy Star Crush recovering 5 of those 27 points that were lost in the power jam.
Amazing play. We've got an official timeout right now. This official timeout is brought to you by Washington Health Plan Finder. WaHealthPlanFinder.org online. They're a new way to help you find, compare, and select a quality health insurance plan that's right for you, your family, and your budget. Washington Health Plan Finder. Be sure to check out their booth today. They'll be here all weekend long.
An official review in progress. The clock stopped at 16 minutes, 23 seconds in the first period. And we're going to wait and find out what that official review is about. But right now, the referee's consulting after having heard the complaint from Lava City. Oh, go ahead.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up early in the morning here with us on the first bout of Saturday here. For all those online, we love you guys watching us streaming over the interwebs. This is brought to you by Blaze Streaming Media, by the way. They are providing all the amazing direction and crazy rocket gear that they have in the back room here. I'm kind of afraid to walk back there for fear of touching any of that stuff and maybe breaking some of that stuff. Looks like the NASA control room.
So we were told this official review is Lava City is disputing the cutting the track call on Panty Dropper. They believe that it was actually a no pass, no penalty. That is, the skater who knocked her out either went out of bounds or fell down or otherwise went out of play before Panty Dropper returned inbounds in front of her. Right now, Panty Dropper's has already served about 15 or 20 seconds of her 1-minute penalty. So this could potentially cut short the power jam that Bellingham has coming by about 40 seconds. That is, she would have been in the penalty box for about 40 seconds of the next jam.
That was some quick math. Are you sure that's right?
No, okay. I'm not sure that it's right at all. I was just judging by how much time was left on the jam clock when Panty Dropper went in, which was at around 20 seconds, 20 or so.
I think between the two of us, I would trust your judgment far more than mine. I think we're going to go with that, Bulldog.
I know, this early in the morning. This is really early in the morning for me. This is before I normally wake up.
This is before I normally go to bed. Are you kidding me? This is incredibly early. During any Derby weekend, yeah, this is straining the announcers. I want you guys to understand that.
This is cruel and unusual punishment. There's amendment to the Constitution, man.
There usually is a lot of sobbing in the announcer's booth, but there's usually a little bit more when it's before 10 o'clock in the morning. So just so you know, when we're openly crying up here during halftime, that's why. It's not just because the NSOs are picking on us up here.
It's because we're big babies. Okay, everyone's still anxiously awaiting the result of the referees still consulting. Now, I mean, it's impossible to read into this. They could very well be discussing what to wear to the after party, which is always a hot topic among referees.
I've seen them wear horizontal stripes sometime. That's just an amazing fashion statement. Yeah, it's a total revolution.
But vertical stripes are slimming. So horizontal stripes, I don't know what that does.
Horizontal stripes, but on a shirt that's 2 sizes too small. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, actually, I think horizontal stripes mean you are a prison inmate in the 40s.
That's right.
During
With
the Great Depression, yes.
Aren't you usually carrying a big sack with a $sign on it at some point and running from the law? Yeah.
With a black mask on, that's right, like a Lone Ranger mask. And the referees have consulted, and they have determined that in fact it was a no pass, no penalty. Panty dropper released, so that could potentially be big. Lava City ahead right now. A power jam for Bellingham could have turned the tables against them. However, the referees had did a review. Obviously there was another perspective, and it overruled. It determined that in fact it was a no pass, no penalty. So this could it's very early in the game, but Lava City with a lot of momentum, and you never want to lose your momentum when you have it. When the ball's rolling, you want to keep it going.
Absolutely correct. Yeah, and Lava City saw that. The system works, I think, is what we've proven here today. The system works, okay?
Well, that's a little bit... okay. So, fresh jammer in for Lava City. Tree Thugger, number 22, going against Isahella a brand new jammer for Bellingham. First time jamming in this game. Tree Thugger comes out ahead of Isahella but Isahella broke the pack just in front of Tree Thugger, so claimed lead jammer and is in control of the clock. Tree Thugger hits the pack on her first scoring pass, and then Isahella gets into the pack as well, gets a glancing blow from Slayer, but forges ahead, moves up the inside, gets knocked down by Demoralizer. Has to pick herself back up. But both jammers having a lot of trouble in the jam. Isahella no longer lead jammer. She got a technical foul. It's a low block. So she is in the penalty box, and it's a power jam for Lava City. Tree Thugger now still on her first scoring pass. Caught up by Sugar Bomb. Dodges to the inside, gets around Miata Smacky. A little help from Demoralizer, her teammate, and Lava City picks up 5 from Tree Thugger. Now the pack frozen in turn 2. Tree Thugger on her second scoring pass. Looking for the inside lane. Jukes to the outside. Miata Smacky catches her. Now a 3-wall. Sugar Bomb and Robin Rumble joining Miata Smacky, but Robin Rumble dropping back to bridge. Sugar Bomb can't hold on. Tree Thugger of Lava City out for a second grand slam. 10 points so far in this jam. And a beautiful screen from Slayer clears out Robin Rumble, but Miata Smacky, the only Bellingham blocker able to catch Tree Thugger. But Tree Thugger makes short work of that. Another 5 for Lava City. And in the mix, we have Lunatic and Sugar Bomb both getting penalties. So now Bellingham's defense is cut in half. But that is enough. Miata Smacky knocking Tree Thugger out of bounds. She has to recycle. And Isahella back in the game. Completes her first scoring pass to match 4 of Lava City's points. But 19 points scored by Tree Thugger of Lava City.
Wild jam back there. Lava City is counting on these crazy jams to just push this score further and further up. Still all kinds of time left to go in this first period as we wind down to about 14 minutes.
And there's another familiar matchup. Anya Az, number 1 of Lava City in the yellow, against Rampage, number 193 of Bellingham in the black. Anya Az gets to the front quickly, and Miata Smacky holds her briefly, but lead jammer goes to Lava City's Anya Az. Rampage of Bellingham tries to dodge around Night Mary of Lava City. Gets knocked out of bounds, has to recycle all the way back through turn 3. Anya Az completing her first scoring pass for a grand slam. Rampage finally getting through the pack, completing her initial pass. Almost gets past a second time by Anya Az of Lava City. So a 4 points on the second pass. That's 9 points for Lava City.
That was some good math. I have to use my fingers usually, but when I need printing done, I use my Fingers Duke. FingersDuke.com. They're more than your average screen printing company. They are a collection of awesome, creative personalities working together. They utilize their diverse selection of talented professional artists to get the job done. Let them get the job done for you. Check them out.
Ziggy Star Crush jamming for Bellingham against Panty Dropper. And Panty Dropper, quick move around the outside, takes her past Isahella, and Lava City has lead jammer. Ziggy Starcross getting tangled up with Slayer. Now runs into a 2-wall. Breaks right in between Double Deluxe and Screamin' Meanie to complete her initial pass. But Lava City's Panty Dropper moves up the quick move up the inside. Gets around Luna Chick. Calls off the jam for 4 for Lava City.
There can never be too many 4s. Use the 4s, Bulldog. This might be is this an official review or an official timeout? An official review for Bellingham. They're going to want to make sure everything's on the up and up. This official review is brought to you by the featured charity of the Wild West Showdown, the Sally Santana Funds for the Homeless. Sally Santana, the voice of the homeless in Kitsap County. She's known for all of her amazing work helping out the homeless in Kitsap County. Check out the display and see what you can do to help us slaughter homelessness in Kitsap County. That's the Sally Santana Funds for the Homeless.
All right, we have an update about this official review, which who brought it to us, but apparently Bellingham believes is disputing the beginning of the jam. They believe there was some illegal contact before the whistle that should have been called as an illegal procedure, and that caused them to lose position, is the argument. And basically, they want one of the Lava City skaters to go to the penalty box. Not clear on exactly which skater. I did not happen to see the contact that they're referring to. All right, and the official review is overturned. That is the ruling on the track. The officials have determined that there was no illegal contact before the whistle, or rather they cannot confirm it, and they can't send someone to the penalty box unless they actually can confirm that the action actually happened.
The WFTDA is working on time travel as we speak. We will be able to go back in time and officially review these live as they happen, actually.
Also known as instant replay, right?
That's wizardry. I don't want to hear your witchcraft here today. Folks, don't forget during some of these
travel technology.
During some of these breaks, don't forget the Salad Shack is slinging food over there. They've got breakfast burritos and bagels and cream cheese. Get your day started right here on Saturday morning. Head on over to the Salad Shack.
That's the end of the official timeout. So we have 3-on-3 pack right now. Is a Hella Vicious, number 00, lined up for Bellingham in the black. Number 22, Tree Thugger, jamming for Lava City in the yellow. Tree Thugger looking for the outside lane. Is a Hella Vicious looking for the inside. Juking back and forth, but a strong 2-wall from Lava City, holding her at the rear of the pack. Tree Thugger scoots between Sugar Bomb and Anna Nasty to complete her initial pass for lead jammer. Is a Hella Vicious still stuck behind the Lava City blockers. Volatile on point with Cutthroat Callie knocks Is a Hella Vicious out of bounds. She's still on her initial pass as Tree Thugger passes her and completes the first scoring pass for Lava City. 5 points on the board in this jam for the ladies in yellow. Is a Hella Vicious knocks for a spin and rolls around, gets a back block call, goes to the penalty box, and it's another power jam for Lava City. Tree Thugger coming around a second time. 10 points so far on the board. Moves in a third time. Sugar Bomb tries to pick her up, whiffs with a shoulder check. Tree Thugger just a little bit too quick on that juke. That brings it to 15 points for Lava City. Lava City at full strength. Bellingham with 4 blockers on the track, but we got Volatile, number 86, going to the penalty box for Lava City. That means it's a 4-on-3 pack advantage for Bellingham while they are trying to kill this power jam. Now this time, Lava City active in the pack, trying to break up that 4 wall, but Lunatic able to catch Tree Thugger, knocks her out of bounds. She has to recycle almost a quarter lap. Lunatic again. Tree Thugger has to struggle to get around that shoulder check, but this time it zips past Miata Smakia and Sugar Bomb. Completes the pass for another 5, 20 points total for Lava City. And the Bellingham jammer is a hell of a vicious still in the penalty box.
Some amazing effort here by Lava City, just having to work for every inch of this flat track to get by Bellingham's strong defense. That big line of black up front there, not easy to get around. We're going to see what Anya Az can do about it this time as she makes her way up to the jam line for the girls in yellow and orange. There's the whistle. The jam begins, and Anya Az looks right for the center there. Instead, runs into a big wall of hurt, but no, she squeezes through on the center. That's your lead jammer for Lava City, skating away in this power jam. Pack resetting with a lot of physicality going on, but it looks like we do have a Bellingham jammer on now. Out on the middle of the flat track is a hella vicious skating away, but that's still going to be 4 points on the board for the girls in yellow. Vicious knocked down to the inside.
By Night Mary.
And that's the jam. Night Mary making that hit. And it looks like we had 4 points scored at the end, but was that 1 point? We did have 1 point for Isahella Vicious. Some great effort there at the end of that jam.
That's right. She had an opportunity to call off the jam, delayed it, but it looked like a good call. But no, Isahella Vicious worked it and just got her hips past the last blocker, the last Lava City blocker in the pack. So the referee saw that, and that was just enough to squeak 1 point by. But Lava City still with a commanding lead over Bellingham with 9 minutes left in the first half.
Talk about commanding. I want to command my grip onto the flat track. How do I do that? With Sure Grip. SureGrip.com. Check out Sure Grip's line of zombie wheels. All zombie wheels are made in the USA. I am flying by the seat of my pants right now, Bulldog. Don't give me that look, okay?
That was from the Papa Phil School of Segway.
Yeah, my segues are baffling, and no one may understand them but me. Regardless, SureGrip.com should not pay for my ineptitude. You should check out their booth. And the zombie wheels featured prominently here at this event. Or check them out online, SureGrip.com.
And the first team timeout called by Bellingham. Each team gets 3 timeouts. Bellingham has used 1 timeout so far. Lava City has not yet called a timeout. And we've got a 4-on-3 pack advantage for Bellingham, but only for the first 10 seconds of the jam. Number 193, Rampage, jamming for Bellingham in the black, and Panty Dropper, number 123, jamming for Lava City in the yellow. Bellingham guarding the front, but Rampage gets around the Lava City blockers, zips up the outside, and gets lead jammer. Panty Dropper knocked out of bounds. That's to recycle just a little bit. Now taking another run at it. Gets picked up by Pyroclastic Flow, but she can't make contact. Panty Dropper out of the pack. But here comes Rampage on a scoring pass. Runs into a 3-wall. Gets caught up in it. It's just brought up short, but then blasts through a shoulder check. Taken down Screamin' Meanie. And she has 4 points for Bellingham. Panty Dropper at the back of the pack behind Miata Smakia and Anna Nasty. Moves to the outside. Sugar Bomb comes in with a shoulder check, but can't quite get Panty Dropper. Panty Dropper holds on, doesn't go out of bounds, and gets 4 points on her first scoring pass. Rampage coming around on her second scoring pass, gets caught by Demoralizer, knocked down and sent rolling, comes back up, calls off the jam just in time. Panty Dropper not going to get a second scoring pass, but only 1 more point for Rampage, so a 5-4 jam for...
We're going to see what happened. Demoralizer waving her arms, just trying to get those referees' attention there. And they did actually pick up 2 points, not 1, at the end of that jam.
That's right. The jam ref coming over and updating the score. There were actually 2 skaters that she passed. There was 1 off to the side that he had to account for. So it was a 6-4. That was I think that's the first jam in a long time that Bellingham has won, though, and only by 2 points. Double deluxe jamming for Lava City. Ziggy Starcrust is driving straight up the center of the pack and gets through. Both jammers have completed their initial pass, but Lava City in control of the clock. Double Deluxe quickly up to the front of the pack, gets caught by Anna Nasty, and Wendy Beltols completes the pass, calls off the jam in time. Ziggy Starcrush for Bellingham, not gonna get any points on that one.
I know we don't have any music here right now, but if you need a DJ, you need an amazing DJ. And I'm talking about DJ Rich Nice. If he were here, you would be dancing. I guarantee it. Call DJ Rich Nice, get a hold of him on Facebook.
Would you look at that? We have 5-on-5 on the track. Nobody in the penalty box. Anya Az moving up, gets around Sugar Bomb, almost caught by Lunatic, but escapes clean. Lead jammer goes to Lava City. Is a Hella Vicious number 00 knocked down in turn 4, picks herself back up, still driving through the back on her initial pass. Gets up to the front, caught by Cutthroat Callie and Volatile. Knocked out of bounds by Screamin' Meanie, number 44. Anya Az of Lava City through the pack, completing her first scoring pass grand slam. 5 points for Lava City. Is a Hella Vicious gets a vicious shoulder check from Cutthroat Callie. Goes to the outside, and now Cutthroat Callie going to the penalty box. But that doesn't help Bellingham too much. Is a Hella Vicious.
Anya Az breaking through now as what looks to be the lone jammer on the flat track.
Okay, well, this is trouble. The Bellingham jammer seems to have been caught in, is not moving from turn 2. Beginning to get concerned, but that does not stop Anya Az. But she's all the way through for 3 scoring passes, now going for a 4th. Sugar Bomb slows her down, screens back and forth, but a grand slam, 20 points for Lava City. Scoring pass number 5, and she slaloms right through the pack. Lunatic and Robin Rumble, the only blockers on the track at the time, unable to make contact. And now an update. We've got Is a Hella Vicious, the Bellingham jammer, returning to the bench. So possibly going to be looked at by the medics, but there is no track stoppage because this is not interfering with the jam. The referees will only call off the jam if the down skater is interfering with the jam as a potential safety issue. But since she was clear of the track and not inhibiting the movement or causing any kind of a danger, then the referees have no cause to call off the jam. This is just bad luck for Bellingham.
You got that right. This is not what they wanted to see as period 1 begins to wind down here. We're underneath the 4-minute mark. Tree Thugger looking to keep this drive alive, though, as she's looking to the outside, back in like a pinball in there. The pack eventually split up, and that's going to let her right on through. The lead jammer, Tree Thugger, stymied in the pack just a bit, but one more blocker to get by, and she does with a big parting shot by Dame Deviant there. 193, Rampage skating away on her scoring pass now. Meanwhile, Tree Thugger keeping the drive alive, but only for a little bit. Looks like we had a back block, and that's going to send her to the box. This is what Bellingham wants right now. Opportunity as Rampage now tries to rampage her way around this flat track. Some big hits going on right up front. Lava City not going to give her an inch for free. 3 more points on the board for the girls in black as Rampage now skates away while the pack attempts to ready themselves for this jammer. Big hit up front. Rampage just smashing her way through this pack. 5 more points on the board, and Bellingham is definitely trying to stage a comeback here with just under 3 minutes left to go in the first period. Bellingham saying it's all up to you, Rampage, leaving it up to her. Big booty block, though, sends Rampage inbounds into the ref zone, and that's going to recycle her all the way to the back of the pack. And now she's looking for some help from these blockers. Pack is split. Rampage goes. That's good for a grand slam for Bellingham. Pack now beginning to fill out a little bit as the penalty box empties onto the track. We've got 3 blockers now for Lava City, and that's what they're going to need against Rampage as she continues her rampage unfazed on this flat track, standing now at 13-point jam, and she's looking for more, trying to get away around the outside, but instead getting recycled to the back. And what do I see now? It's Tree Thugger back at the front of the pack. They have gone completely around that penalty and allowed her back on the track. That's 4 points for Lava City. Looked like we had a big hit there at the end of that jam. For those of you watching, and if this is your first roller derby bout, remember, this is a physical, tough sport. These girls out here are not messing around. They come out here, they do this for your entertainment, and when you see them on the sidelines or at the beer garden later on or wherever, you need to give them some love, some derby love. Tell them thanks for everything you do.
So that is 2 jams in a row with some what appear to be fairly brutal injuries to the Bellingham jammers. So Rampage very slow getting up after that jam. But again, no penalty called, or rather, sorry, excuse me, against Isabella Vicious, there was a penalty called against, I believe it was Double Deluxe. I don't want to be naming. I don't remember.
You're making stuff up now.
I'm just making stuff up now. But
the
Panty
truth,
Dropper
though,
calling off the jam and cuts it off. Bellingham coming out 6-3, a +3 difference in the score, and words with sentence make.
That's why we're the sport talking guys. Yeah. Looks like we're going to try and squeeze one more jam out of this first period here. Sugar Bomb in black going up against Double Deluxe. And they are off. Double Deluxe trying for the outside. Sugar Bomb taking the low road. Both jammers instead running into the opposing blockers, though, from each team respectively. Double Deluxe out in the front, but still 1 block to go. That pack is split. They're going to let her go, but closely followed by Sugar Bomb. Both jammers looking to get some of these points as this first period begins to wind down here. Pack now setting up for a big booty block. Lunatic takes Double Deluxe out to the inside. We'll see where the score's like. That was 0. Goose eggs for both. Big heads-up play, trying to call it off and still get some of those points on the board, but instead taking us right into the halftime. We got about 10 minutes on the clock, folks. Take a break. Get yourself some food. I'm talking about the Salad Shack, breakfast burritos and bagels over there. If you're watching from home, maybe take a bathroom break, but then come right on back here for the second half of this bout. Lava City leading 160 points to Bellingham 63.
Need your help with the scoreboard.
Sorry about that accident. That's really that I didn't have it. Yeah.
You're going to a whole other continent. Is that what I heard?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Oh my God, what? Holy crap, we didn't even talk about that.
Why?
I don't know. So the viewers can give you kisses.
Oh, I thought you were like, we didn't discuss that, and we need to sit down after the bout and go over some things, man.
Sir, I want you to be careful over there. I just learned, this came to my attention just recently, that Bulldog, the man, the myth, the legend right next to me, is going to Scotland in like a couple days from now.
Sounds about right.
Hey, hang on his every word. That was an amazing round of applause, but yeah.
Ziggy Starcrush gets lead jammer, but Panty Dropper of Lava City right behind her. It is a 4-on-2 pack advantage for Bellingham. Lava City losing half of their blockers. Ziggy Starcrust gets a spinning shoulder check from Night Mary, held up by Cutthroat Callie, but breaks through. But Panty Dropper having a very little trouble with the 4 Bellingham blockers. 4 points each so far. Ziggy Starcrush hits the pack first, but gets immediately knocked out by a hip check from Dame Deviant. Calls off the jam, does get 3 points for Lava City. and calls off the jam in time. No points for Lava City in the second scoring pass. Oh, wait. Oh, excuse me.
You are a liar.
I got that backwards.
Such a
3
liar.
points for Lava City, no points for Bellingham. So a 7-4 jam for Lava City.
There it is. There it is. Thank you. Thank you for the.
I was looking at what was happening, and my brain was saying Bellingham scored, and Lava City didn't get there in time.
Yeah, that's Double Deluxe on the jam line for the girls in yellow. Going up against Sugar Bomb. Double Deluxe gets the nod. That's your lead jammer skating away. Meanwhile, Sugar Bomb is resting at the back of the pack shortly before then exploding, but exploding right into a 3-wall up front. Now trying to get by on the outside line, and they do let her go on a penalty. I'm sorry, a defensive penalty lets her go. Boy, yeah, we are batting 1,000 up here, man.
Only the second time jamming for Sugar Bomb in this game. Double Deluxe at the front. Almost knocked out of bounds by Scarlett Johansson, but shakes off her and Luna Chick. Double Deluxe of Lava City now getting a shirt whip from Screamin' Meanie. Whips around Robin Rumble. Completes the pass. 4 points for Lava City, but 3 of those points matched by Sugar Bomb of Bellingham.
Bellingham is not messing around here in the second period. They've done a little bit of consolidating, it looks like, during the halftime, and they are coming back looking to score some points. And that's exactly what we want to see from the girls in black on the flat track this morning. Thank you once again for being up here early in the morning with us for the Wild West Showdown Day 2.
They're going to be watching in archives. Nobody's actually awake right now.
Breaker Baker, number 1 of Bellingham, jamming for the first time and goes straight up the center. Lead jammer for Breaker Baker on her very first jam in this game. Tree Thugger struggling against Miata Smakia on a nasty on point, but Miata Smakia unable to hold the Lava City jammer in. But Breaker Baker into the pack on her first scoring pass, runs into Dame Deviant. Now caught by Cutthroat Callie, knocked out of bounds, has to recycle just a little bit, and that allows Tree Thugger of Lava City to catch up. Now both jammers on their first scoring pass. Breaker Baker knocked down by a shoulder check from Cutthroat Callie. Tree Thugger, no, where is she? But no, what happened to her jammer? Oh, she may have been trying to do a panty pass.
I think that's what we saw there. And
okay,
instead, ended up taking a dive onto the flat track. That was an amazing hit there. We had an equipment malfunction, I think, is what we had happen there.
And I believe that the jam ref for Lava City was indicating that she gets a 2-minute penalty. So we're going to wait for a consult. It looks like the referees are consulting. We have an official review from Lava City, and that is not surprising, considering that they're potentially losing their jammer for 2 minutes, if I saw the signal correctly.
I think you called it. I think that's exactly what we're seeing out here. While we're waiting for this official review, if you're in the venue, check out the Green Monster booth. Green Monster maintains a first-hand understanding of the derby industry by being totally submerged in every facet possible: coaching, playing, reffing, educating the world over. This dedication allows Green Monster to set industry trends in the ever-changing sport of roller derby. Check them out, Green Monster, or online, greenmonster.com. That's GRNMNSTR, greenmonster.com.
Lava City coach Foul Bundy airing his grievances to the referees right now. Still waiting to get it's almost certainly an official review to dispute the one or both of the penalties assessed to Tree Thugger of Lava City.
I think,
but we're still waiting to get the word direct from the referees.
It's all conjecture, but yeah, I think Bulldogs got it right on the head there. But while they discuss possibly a heated argument in the middle of the track, we've got dancing and hugging going on the jam line, and isn't that what derby's all about? No, it's violent. It's not what it's about at all.
It's a no call. They want a back block. Totally not what we're saying.
Okay, so it is. We actually got the word. The official review is not about the jammer penalty against the Lava City Jammer, but in fact they were asking for. They believe there should have been assessed a back blocking call against a Bellingham blocker. We haven't been told which blocker that was, but Lava City would like to see one of the Bellingham blockers going to the penalty box, but they are not disputing either of the penalties assessed to Tree Thugger of Lava City. So they are going to be giving up a 2-minute power jam.
That's right. It wouldn't be a roller derby bout if the officials didn't make liars of the announcers regularly.
So the official review is overruled. No penalty will be assessed to Bellingham on the offense that Lava City has alleged.
Your Honor, these allegations are completely unfounded.
My cousin Vinny.
Yeah. What is a ute? Oh, we're digging deep, folks. We're digging deep on that one. Couple little last-minute parting comments there in the middle of the track, and on that whistle, it ends the official review, as previously stated on the flat track. But I'm going to say it louder because I've got a microphone.
So Bellingham at full strength, but Lava City with only 3 blockers on the track, 1 in the hole, but standing up. Demoralizer standing up in the penalty box at the first whistle. So she'll be rejoining shortly, but right now, Ziggy Starcrush running into the 3 wall. Screaming Meanie on point. Volatile and Juice Nukem going to the penalty box. So Lava City's blockers, they started with 3. Demoralizer was coming in shortly, but now they only have 2. Demoralizer and Screamin' Meanie. Screamin' Meanie comes across with a shoulder check. Demoralizer finishes the job, but Ziggy Starcrush gets up quickly and brushes off a follow-up shoulder check, and now Demoralizer returning to the penalty box. She's going to get waved off because the penalty box is full. So she'll be in play, but owing a penalty. Nevertheless, right now, Screamin' Meanie, the only blocker on the track, now finally rejoined by Demoralizer, but Ziggy Starcrush already with 2 grand slams in her pocket, coming around for a 3rd one. Demoralizer putting up a very solid defense. Ziggy Starcrush has to work her skates off to get through on that 3rd scoring pass, but finally gets the grand slam. And this time, a quick burst of acceleration up the inside gets her past Screamin' Meanie. Demoralizer goes to the penalty box. So again, briefly, Screamin' Meanie, the only blocker on the track for Lava City. But now Volatile and Juice Nukem back on the track. Juice Nukem with solid shoulder checks, inverted blocking, but gets another penalty. Lava City's blockers just getting penalty after penalty. Right now, the only skater for Lava City on the track that has not gone to the penalty box at least once in this jam is Screamin' Meanie. So Screamin' Meanie, the old faithful for Lava City in that one.
Exactly.
But still giving up 25 points in the power jam.
Keeping it legal there. You got to hand it to Lava City, though. Although they accrued all those penalties, that was some amazing blocking there. That could have been a lot more damage done by Bellingham. As it is, though, 25 points on that jam puts Bellingham right up against the 100-point score. Yet another power jam as Sugar Bomb now faces 2 opposing blockers and 2 alone. There's 1 blocker to beat. Looking to the referees for some type of answer there about her problem at the front of the pack there, but now she's let free. That's Sugar Bomb skating away as your lead jammer. Pack attempting to reform there, whatever they can, and Sugar Bomb on the outside line, just about untouched. Gets on through a big power jam there for Bellingham right at the end of that jam.
And after after a 2 minutes of penalties, Tree Thugger finally returning back to play. But Bellingham scoring over 30 points, or no, exactly 30 points.
A number close to 30.
During that 2-minute penalty being served by the Lava City Jammer. But now Panty Dropper jamming for Lava City, still in the pack. Rampage having no trouble finding a wide open outside lane. Gets lead jammer right off the bat for Bellingham. Bellingham in the black, Lava City in the yellow. Panty Dropper getting screened to the outside by Miata Smakia, and Sugar Bomb knocked down, has to recycle. Lava City Jammer still on her initial pass. Rampage of Bellingham on her first scoring pass, knocked down out of bounds by Demoralizer, but Demoralizer going back to the penalty box. I think there were almost 10 penalties overall accumulated by Lava City in just the last 2 jams alone.
We might be, exactly, we might just within the span of within 3 minutes, we might be in danger of possibly losing a skater to penalties. They're racking up very quickly here, and now what we have is a timeout, it looks like, called by Lava City. Lava City's going to take a moment here, take a breath, and try and figure out what is going on out here with all these penalties, see what they can do about it. Don't forget, during the breaks, check out the Washington Health Plan Finder booth just to the left of the announcer station here on track 1. More people than ever before are now eligible for low-cost or free health insurance. Go check them out, ask them all about it, and be sure and look at that amazing poster they have set up. I had to walk by a few times and do a double take at what's going on over there. Slightly offensive, arousing, I don't know. Take your pick. However you can describe that poster. I believe they've got raffles going on as well, so be sure and get over there, handing out posters, doing all kinds of crazy stuff over there. Washington Health Plan Finder.
I didn't find it arousing though. It looks like a wedgie to me. It looks
Bulldog sees pain. I see something different. What are you going to do? Different strokes. We'll just leave it at that.
Cutthroat Cali back to the game, I think. Cutthroat Cali, number 969 for Lava City in the yellow. This is her first, I believe this is her first time jamming. She may have jammed one time before, but or this may be her first time jamming. But Ziggy Starcrush for Bellingham has jammed plenty of times. But Cutthroat Cali of Lava City is the lead jammer, hits the pack first on a scoring pass. But Ziggy Starcrush into the pack. Cutthroat Cali goes to the penalty box. A back block assessed to the Lava City jammer, and that means Bellingham on the power jam. Then they only have 2 blockers on the track. And one of those blockers is Screamin' Meanie. Screamin' Meanie, Old Faithful for Lava City. But Ziggy Starcrush able to get past Dame Deviant and Screamin' Meanie for a Grand Slam. Second Grand Slam in this jam. Third time, but Ziggy Starcrush gets caught by a hip check from guess who? Screamin' Meanie of Lava City. Has to recycle a little bit. Still looking for that third potential Grand Slam, but Screamin' Meanie relentless, but until she relents. But that's only because he got to the end of the engagement zone.
Well said.
Grand Slam for Ziggy Stardust, third one for this jam, 15 points, but excellent defense just really by Screamin' Meanie. Dame Deviant chipping in here and there, but Screamin' Meanie really holding the line, a stalwart of the Lava City defense for the last 3 jams or so. But now look at that, Lava City with all 4 blockers on the track. I wonder how that feels. But they are now at full strength as Cutthroat Cali, number 969, comes out of the penalty box and completes her first scoring pass. Gets all 4 points. But Ziggy Starcrush has got another Grand Slam, 20 points so far, and time runs out. A 20-4 jam for Bellingham. So Bellingham way behind after the first half, but starting to march back into this game.
Exactly, yeah. We're seeing some amazing play. I love seeing this. They obviously had a talk in the locker room, came back out, and are ready to play. I got to warn you, Bulldog, though, the last time you called Screamin' Meanie Old Faithful, she shot daggers up here with her eyes.
Young Faithful.
Young Faithful. That's...
Or moderately...
In either case, she's keeping it legal on the flat track, and that's what Lava City wants to see here as we come into this second period. Still plenty of time on the clock. 19.5 minutes left to go in legal play.
Rampage, number 193, jamming for Bellingham. Against number 32, Double Deluxe. Double Deluxe breaks up the inside and gets lead jammer. Rampage coming out behind Double Deluxe, completing her initial pass. Both teams down one blocker. Double Deluxe sneaking up the inside, almost gets away with it, but Miata Smakia catches her at the front with a shoulder check. But she does give up the point. All 4 points for Lava City. Jam called off, no points for Bellingham.
Exciting stuff. Lava City loves to see all their blockers on the track. You better believe that. Getting some helpful encouragement from outside the sidelines, it sounded like there. A little bit of derby war cries going on over there. We'll see how it works out for the girls on the flat track. It's going to be Sugar Bomb and Panty Dropper. Lava City enjoying a slight pack advantage right now as Panty Dropper gets a great jump off that line, looking for the front instead, finding the flat track, getting knocked right down. She's back up again faster than I can even say it. And that's your lead jammer for Lava City. Sugar Bomb. Scarlett Jo Hertzum going to the penalty box. That's going to cost Bellingham a little bit with a parting shot by Sugar Bomb on Panty Dropper, but she's unfazed, skating by with a big grand slam for the girls in yellow. Sugar Bomb, not as sweet as her name implies, though, with some of those heavy shoulder checks. Panty Dropper, though, is looking to drop the bomb out there as she is on that outside line, untouched, and skating away with what looks like another 5-point pass. No, that's a 4-point pass. I'm sorry. That magic thumb was not out, folks. Panty Dropper still skating away, though, looking to get some points. Meanwhile, Sugar Bomb, 4 points of her own on the board, and Bellingham trying to answer back as Panty Dropper skates through 4 more and calls it off. Lava City saying, hey, we're not out of the second period either, folks. 13-point jam for the girls in yellow.
It's not us.
All right. Little beatboxing going on there by Bulldog and I.
Cutthroat Cali, number 969, dodges around Miata Smakia, gets lead jammer for Lava City. A big shoulder check from Juice Nukem takes down Breaker Baker, jamming for only the second time for Bellingham. Breaker Baker running into Slayer and Volatile. Gets up quickly and almost outraces Volatile, but Volatile just catches her in turn 1. Comes out, but Cutthroat Cali getting all 5 points on one scoring pass as she calls off the jam.
Some amazing last efforts here. I should say second effort, third effort sometimes by these jammers coming out here. Lava City definitely feeling the heat here, but they are calling some amazing shots out here. 200 points now for Lava City. Still plenty of time left to go. 16 minutes left in legal play as Ziggy Starcrush now takes her turn on the jam line, seeing what she can do to tighten this up for Bellingham and the girls in black.
Ziggy Starcrush working her way up the center, gets up to the front, shuffled out of bounds by Mama Natrix, number 3 for Lava City, but Mama Natrix going to the penalty box, paying the price for, but the damage is done. Bellingham's jammer, Ziggy Starcrush, relegated to the back of the pack, has to work her way all the way back through, gets caught by Tree Thugger at the front of the pack. But for Lava City, Double Deluxe already has lead jammer, now on her first scoring pass as Ziggy Starcrush makes her way around to try and catch up to the Lava City jammer. Double Deluxe making a gesture, and yes, she's calling off the jam, but too late. Only gets 2 points for Lava City, but Ziggy Starcrush able to get all the way through, so it's 4 points for Bellingham.
That's right, Ziggy Starcrush taking full advantage of that disco maneuver going on outside of Disco 2. Amazing footwork there, keeping it in bounds. You got to give Demoralizer some credit on that one. Looks like we got a timeout, a team timeout called by Bellingham. This team timeout is brought to you by the Toad House Pizza and Beer Garden. They are normally known as Toad House Pizza, but here they're known as the Toad House Beer Garden. If you're 21 and over, head on up there later on in the day when they show up. And if you're happen to be around the Kitsap, Bremerton area here, and you're not watching a roller derby bout here, get on over to the Toad House Pizza Grill. They would love to get you a nice grilled up pizza. They use actual fire over there to make it. I've been there before. They've got over 100 beers selection to choose from. It's an amazing joint. Get on over there. Toad House Pizza. They're in the parking lot of Safeway. 1405 Northeast McWilliams Road. I love derby battle cries. What can I say? We're seeing some old school derby setup right here, man. I love it. Look how far away from the jammers the pack is, Bulldog. What's going on here?
I can barely see them. They're so tiny up there.
Yeah, they're not smaller. They're just further away. Okay, optical illusion.
Rampage number 193 jamming for Bellingham in the black. And in the yellow, it is Panty Dropper number 123 jamming for Lava City. Rampage and Panty Dropper getting through the pack very quickly, but Rampage clinched lead jammer on the initial pass. And once again, Lava City has almost no blockers. They've got two sitting in the penalty box, and Dame Deviant making her way around to the penalty box. She will be able to sit down. So right now, Volatile all by herself and unable to stop Rampage. But Rampage only getting 3 points on that first scoring pass. So excellent job by Volatile, not giving up her point, or someone didn't give up a point. I'll have to look at the replay, but Panty Dropper finally getting through her first scoring pass, as Rampage has already lapped her, getting a grand slam on her second scoring pass. So making up that extra point with a lapped jammer point, giving her 8 points so far in this jam. And now a third scoring pass gets around Screamin' Meanie and Mama Natrix to get 4 more. Panty Dropper on her second scoring pass is a hella vicious. Clearly, it looks like she's recovered from that injury to the back of her neck that she got previously, and we were all worried about her. So glad to see her returning to play, and now leaving play to go to the penalty box.
You jinxed it. That's what you did.
As soon as I open up my mouth, they make a liar of me. But Rampage already has 3 scoring passes, a 3-point pass in the first one, 5 points in the second one, 4 in the third one, and now 4 more for Bellingham, rounding it out to, well, no, wait. Yes, 3 points for Lava City on that last scoring pass. Total of 7 for Lava City, and yes, there it is, 16 points for Bellingham in this jam. So 16-7 for Bellingham.
There you go. Bellingham doing a good job here of keeping the score attainable for them. We're starting to get into a little bit of a time crunch here. Bellingham's going to want to see what they can do here, and so they send Anna Nasty up to the jam line to get the job done. And there's the whistle. She takes off, looking for that outside line. Instead runs into a big booty block, but she's back on the inside, and that's your lead jammer. Anna Nasty keeping it nasty on the flat track. Skating away right now is Cutthroat Callie, though, beginning her scoring pass, as Anna Nasty now has to get through the pack, or get through the pack again. That's probably a better way to say that. She does get by Screamin' Meanie,
who unbelievably is going to the penalty box.
There you go. Finally gets her penalty. Screamin' Meanie, the most legal girl in roller derby.
After so many jams of being the only Lava City skater that didn't get a penalty, now she's serving one.
She's allowed that. She's allowed that. And Lava City is allowed 4 points right now as Cutthroat Callie skates away. 4 points on the board for Bellingham, and that's what Anna Nasty wanted to see. Trading points right now, back and forth. 4 points for one, 4 points for the other. Bellingham is going to want to get this score closer rather than just move it in the same ratio. This pack is fast. Don't worry, if you're watching this online, your stream isn't actually breaking the internet right now. This pack is actually moving that fast. Kind of strung out a little bit. Both these jammers looking to find those wide open holes, as they are wont to do. Anna Nasty pirouettes into the pack. We'll see what it did for her. That's 3 points. But what do we see? 4 points on the board for Cutthroat Callie, who just barreled her way right on through to end that jam.
So that was a very fast-paced jam. I think that is the pack going almost as fast as the jammers for a large portion of that jam. But I do hand it to Bellingham. At one point, they were 100 points behind Lava City. They had a little trouble in this last jam, but they cut that lead almost in half over the course of this second period. But now 10.5 minutes left to go. Double Deluxe jamming for Lava City. Gets out clean for lead jammer. Breaker Baker jamming. It has to work to get around Demoralizer, but does it. Has some ground to make up, and Double Deluxe finding a wide open inside lane. This time it's Bellingham in deep in penalty trouble, whereas Lava City at full strength. They haven't seen that in a while. It's been all Lava City penalties for the last I think 8 or 9 jams.
Exactly. I think Lava City's actually a little bit confused. They think there may be too many skaters on the floor at some point here. All 5 girls on the flat track. Wah? With 5 seconds to go until the jam starts, we stand ready now. There goes Ziggy Starcrush looking for the inside middle, trying to smash her way through, crush her way through, as it were. But it's Anya Az who finds that open hole on the inside line. She's going to skate away. Ziggy Starcrush still trying to get by Tree Thugger there, who's going to recycle her to the back of the pack. She's going to have to do it all over again, ramming into the back of that wall of yellow right up front, as Anya Az now finds the outside line, juking her way and getting 5 points on the board for the girls in yellow. First points of this jam scored. Ziggy Starcrush trying to string this pack out as much as she can. She does. Begins her scoring pass now. But it looks like this damage is done. Anya Az finding her way, weaving in and out of this pack, and then calling it off. But not before scoring 4 more points on the board. Lava City has come to play, folks. 9 minutes left to go, with a commanding lead, 235 points to Bellingham's 159.
Number 40, Wendy Bell tolls in the penalty box for Bellingham. That means we have a 4-on-3 pack advantage for Lava City going to the next jam. Number 19, Anna Nasty jamming for Bellingham in the black, and number 969. Cutthroat Callie in the yellow, jamming for Lava City. And she weaves her way right through the pack, gets around Sugar Bomb and Miata Smacky at the front of the pack, clinches lead jammer. Anna Nasty gets a big shoulder check. She was held up by Screamin' Meanie, and then Demoralizer comes across with a shoulder check, but she recovers nicely and gets through the pack. But Cutthroat Callie just slices right through the pack, gets a quick 4 points for Lava City. Anna Nasty gets into the pack, but doesn't pass any Lava City skaters, so no points for Bellingham. 4 points for Lava City.
Always scoring points, though, is Fast Girl Skates. Their booth is here in the corner off of track 2 right now, but if you happen to be in the Puget Sound area, just stop on in their store. They've got a brick and mortar store over there in Seattle. What's important to them is that they get the best skates for you within your budget, so you don't waste time and money. I've experienced this. They are there to serve you and get you those skates.
Rampage, number 193, jamming for Bellingham against Double Deluxe, number 32 for Lava City. Rampage quickly up to the front. A Dame Deviant, number 4, catches her. And Night Mary, number 79, working together with Dame Deviant, force Rampage to the back of the pack. Double Deluxe knocked out of bounds by Sugar Bomb, drawn back almost to the jammer line on that pass as Rampage gets through the pack for Bellingham. Lead jammer goes to the Bellingham jammer. And she's all the way around on a scoring pass, but having difficulty making any headway. Strong 4-wall, Night Mary and Dame Deviant on the outside, Slayer and Juice Nukem on the inside. Double Deluxe finally completing her initial pass, but the jam gets called off by Rampage. 2 points for Bellingham. Nice defense by Lava City.
That was nice defense. Rampage, though, Is she glued to the track? I don't know how they can't knock her over. It's amazing, her stance, like a tree trunk out there, just not allowing the other team to do anything. We've got Breaker Baker on the jam line. I think this might be the first time we've seen her on the jam line this morning. And she'll be going up against Panty Dropper.
Fourth time.
Oh, well, I guess if I was paying more attention, this is not at all the first time. I apologize.
Well, she didn't jam at all in the first half, but this is her fourth time jamming in the second half. Panty Dropper catching lead jammer for Lava City. Breaker Baker trying to get around all four of the Lava City blockers. Gets around Volatile and Tree Thugger, but caught at the front by, Screamin' Meanie. Familiar face in the front wall, and once again knocked down by a hip check from Screamin' Meanie. Breaker Baker now bounces off of Tree Thugger, has to fight to get around Screamin' Meanie. Big surprise there, but finally completes her initial pass. But Panty Dropper gets through on a scoring pass. 4 points for Lava City so far. Breaker Baker hits the pack on a scoring pass, runs into a 3-wall. Screamin' Meanie in the penalty box. I think she got an out-of-play penalty. But Panty Dropper catching up to Breaker Baker and is going to get the grand slam. 9 points so far for Lava City. Breaker Baker on her first scoring pass, held behind Volatile and Cutthroat Callie. Finally completes the scoring pass for 4 points, but Panty Dropper coming through a third time. Ducks under a shoulder check from Miata Smakia, completes the pass for 4. Total of 13 points for Lava City in 3 scoring passes. Breaker Baker hits the pack on a second scoring pass, bounces off a shoulder check from Cutthroat Callie, gets finished off by Volatile. Knocked to the inside, has to recycle to avoid the cutting the track penalty as Panty Dropper laps her yet again. Another grand slam and 18 points as Panty Dropper calls off the jam. So it will be 18 points for Lava City. 3 more points for Bellingham brings them to 7 for the jam.
With some penalty trouble early on in this period, we saw Lava City looking like they were a little bit up against it here, but now they have come on strong toward the end of this bout, and they are not giving anything up. In fact, they're taking everything they can get. Some amazing jamming going on here, and they are just pushing this score further and further away as Bellingham now sends Sugar Bomb to see what they can do to try and tighten things up here in the closing moments. Still about 3.5 minutes left to go of this bout. Lead jammer, that's going to go to Lava City as Anya Az skates away from the pack on her scoring pass. Sugar Bomb stymied a bit in the middle of the pack, trying to get through these blockers one by one, make her way to the front. A little bit of a pileup on turn 4 there, causes Anya Az to go down to the flat track. Back up though, faster than I can call it, and that's 4 points on the board for Lava City. Skating away, Sugar Bomb still just unable to break through this amazing blocking line of Lava City here. They are just sending blockers at her over and over again. Big shoulder check as a parting shot, and Sugar Bomb finally breaks free and is looking to score some of those points that have gone unanswered as of yet. Anya Az looking for that open hole, instead running into one of her own blockers and calling it off, saying, well, I've had about enough of that, with 3 points on the board. 7 points for that jam for Lava City.
So Lava City was having a lot of penalty trouble early in period 2, and Bellingham was able to make up a lot of ground. But if you look at the scoreboard, Lava City has recovered from those penalty troubles and is almost regained their 100-point lead that they had earlier in the bout. Double Deluxe number 32 jamming for Lava City in the yellow. Rampage number 193 for Bellingham in the black at the rear of the pack. Racing up the outside and gets around all of the Lava City skaters, including Double Deluxe, the jammer. Clinches lead jammer for Bellingham, but Double Deluxe gets out of the pack close behind Rampage. So both jammers moving into scoring position. But Rampage is going to get there first on her first scoring pass. Now 3 Lava City blockers. We've got Mama Natrix, Juice Nukem, and
and others.
Screamin' Meanie making last contact, but Rampage able to absorb a hip check from Screamin' Meanie, completing the scoring pass for 4. Double Deluxe of Lava City has to recycle, still on her first scoring pass, gets passed by Rampage of Bellingham. So Rampage on her second scoring pass, whips around Screaming Meanie and just outraces Mama Natrix at the front of the pack, completing her second scoring pass for 5 for Bellingham. 9 points so far in the jam. Double Deluxe still on her first scoring pass. Miata Smackia whips with a shoulder check, and Double Deluxe is able to escape. 4 points for Lava City. Rampage on her third scoring pass. Lava City, actually both teams at full strength, an empty penalty box I'm looking at right now. But Rampage, frustrated in her efforts on her third scoring pass, calls off the jam. But is going to get a technical penalty, a skating out of bounds. I believe she was attempting to call off the jam, but skated out of bounds voluntarily before the jam was called, and we've seen that penalty enforced. It is illegal to voluntarily skate out of bounds, even if there's no blocker around, and that's something that some jammers, when they call off the jam, and they're absent-minded, and before that fourth whistle gets called, they have to remain in bounds.
I would never say that. Oh my God, you are in so much trouble right now, Bulldog. I'm sorry.
I'm always
She heard
in trouble.
every word about that. Absent-minded. That wasn't me. Okay, not me, Rampage. That was not me. Okay.
You can hear me?
It's always amazing to know that you guys are listening to us. That terrifies us to no end. Everybody, I want you to know that.
Anyway, just commenting on the rank stupidity of that. No, excuse me. Oh, she's smiling over there.
Yeah, you're in big trouble.
Because she knows I'm afraid of her.
Rightfully so. In legal play, we've got a power jam going on here for Lava City. That's going to be Cutthroat Cali, and we are in the closing moments. We're going to squeak out one more jam here, see what we can do. And go ahead.
Cutthroat Cali for Lava City, picking up the jammer star in what is potentially the final jam of the game. But Bellingham putting up a tough defense. Robin Rumble and Sugar Bomb in a 2-wall on point for Bellingham. Cutthroat Cali having a lot of difficulty, and now Lunatic coming up, but she has to drop back the bridge almost immediately. But Sugar Bomb and Robin Rumble making Cutthroat Cali pay the toll to get through, but she does it and gets lead jammer for Lava City. And this time getting through the pack quickly, having a lot less trouble this time. Just weaves her way right through the pack. A grand slam for the ladies in yellow. Still on the power jam. Cutthroat Cali runs into the heel of Robin Rumble. Stumbles for a bit, but recovers fairly well. Gets through the pack. 5 more points. 10 points total for Lava City. The period clock has expired. This is the final jam. But Rampage of Bellingham out of the penalty box. So now both jammers back on the track. But Cutthroat Cali moves in for a third scoring pass. And a pile up coming out of turn 4. 4 out of 5 of the Lava City skaters involved in the pile up. The jam called off. It looks like a little bit of a tussle, but no, doesn't look like anyone was hurt, and that is the end of the game.
Boy.
17 points scored in that last jam by Cutthroat Cali.
Way to end it, yeah. Lava City with that crazy pile up there going on. Had that happened earlier on, that may have ended up in some points for Bellingham. As it was, though, right at the end, we're just happy that nobody got hurt. That was a pretty nasty looking huddle there. An instant gravitational full contact huddle is what we call those. Everybody who was out here on the flat track watching this bout, thank you so much for getting up early in the morning and checking out this one. But come on to the flat track right now. Give Lava City some love as they skate around the flat track. Derby hugs and kisses to all. Thank you, Lava City, for being here with us in this Wild West Showdown. We always love seeing you here. And thank you, Bellingham, for making that long, dangerous trek down the I-5 corridor to join us in battle on the flat track. The Bellingham roller Betties, everybody. Get on out here on the flat track. Show them you love them. Give them some high fives. What about? Thanks, everybody, for coming out. Still looking at an unofficial final here, I bet. I gather. Going to wait for the nod from the referees to say this is the actual score. Pretty safe to say that Lava City took home the win here for the bout here on Saturday morning. Stay tuned, folks. You are about to see even more bouting all day long. If you're watching from home, thank you for joining us here at the Wild West Showdown. Stay tuned on track 1 for the FOCO Girls Gone Derby versus Sicktown Derby Dames. And that is the final score. I just got the word. That's Lava City, 285 points to Bellingham's 179. Thank you once again. And stay tuned for the Wild West Showdown, everybody.